Hello there, Ringside Crew.
Hey dudes at Ringside Crew, this is Davian.
Hey, it's Jenny Santana here.
This is Elsie.
This is the Savage Juggernaut, Tamaku.
Inside Ring.
This is Thomas D. Bruff.
This is Billy Starks.
Mr. Chad Epic.
Megan Mason.
Hey everybody, Scotland's own Brody Adler.
The headliner in charge, Marco Mania.
This is your girl Charisma.
Papa Dink, Brendan Dicker.
This is According to Woods.
Savannah Summers.
I'm Shorty.
Casper inside.
You are watching
The internationally known
Dudes at Ringside podcast, hosted by Metal Geek and Joe the Panther Jr.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe, the Panther, the Third, and now from the top of Metal Mountain, all the way down to all 50 states in the globe, it's the happy heel himself, the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joe? How's it going today? How's it
Pretty
going?
good, you know. Geek.
Time to raise the flag.
Time to raise the flag, and we're flying to a place that the jet has never flown before. We have to land and then refuel it and then keep flying. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know where we're going, Geek?
We're going to South Africa.
Going to South Africa. Got to get my hat and my khaki shirt and my big hat so I don't get bit by the bugs. Mm-hmm. Because, ready to introduce the guest, Geekins?
Yeah, let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the owner of CPW, Mark.
Yeah. Awesome to be here, guys. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having us. It's a little bit late in South Africa. I would have had my lions and my tigers on my lap, but I've had to put them in the cage outside for the night. You know what I mean? Dumbo, my elephant's ears didn't fit through the office door today because it's a bit swollen. He hurt it. But it's good to be here tonight. You know, it's good to talk wrestling. It's good to finally, you guys. I mean, talking to somebody from South Africa. It's awesome to talk to you guys.
Yeah, it's so awesome because, you know, like as you said before, we were live. Like it's something to have owners on this month, but it's something to have on a place that we've never had our podcast go to before. Yeah. You're from South Africa. That's amazing to know the wrestling is not just here, and we know it's in England and places in Japan, but to know that there's indie wrestling in South Africa, that's beautiful. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And South Africa has produced a lot of stars, for I mean, Justin Gabriel came from us.
Definitely.
Adam Rose came from us. Angelico in AEW came from us. You know, when WWE had started up the NXT and that group that Justin Gabriel was involved with all those guys, I forgot what they were called, what they were calling themselves. I mean, NXT or Nexus. Yeah. I mean, they called me up and they actually used our footage to introduce PJ. You know, that's amazing. So it's quite exciting, you know. We are indie company, but effectively we're the largest pro wrestling company on the African continent. You know,
wow.
We got a major presence in India. I mean, we go to all these African countries. We're off to Uganda quite soon for we establishing a base in Uganda. We've been to Nigeria. We've been to the DRC. In the DRC, we pulled 37,000 people for the show for the night.
Wow.
You know, it was unbelievable. Look, if you cut to the chase, guys, COVID hurt us in South Africa when it came to our industry. We were on a roll, man, like you don't want to believe it. Now we run, you know, if we get a little bit into, if you allow me to get a little bit into a couple of things over here, I'm a great believer in promoting local talent because, you know, I have a philosophy is why do I have to go to America to become a superstar in wrestling? You can be a superstar in your own country. You know what I mean? And then if WWE came along and AEW came along, that's an absolute bonus, but you don't have to wait for that to come along. You can develop your character, develop yourself here where there's an opportunity. So you find you find CPW is very well known. You know what I mean? We've had, I mean, you know, just before Bobby Lashley went back to WWE, Bobby Lashley wrestled for me in India. I had a massive show in India, in Punjab, in India. I took Bobby Lashley out. I took Carlito out. I took Brody Steele from Canada. Took Brody Steele out there. Took the Great Alofa, The Rock's cousin. And we had Jack Swagger. We had Gene Snitsky.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know we have this philosophy of bringing in the guys. You know, and who must they wrestle? They mustn't wrestle each other. They must wrestle local talent. Our standard. You're going to see the lady I'm going to introduce to you now. Our standard in South Africa is of the highest. You know, we've been paid. You know, sometimes, you know, yes, wrestling's kayfabe, but in South Africa, you still got a scenario because from a financial aspect, we're not on the same level as the mighty dollar. You know what I mean? With all due respect, you know. So currently, our exchange rate is around about 16-1. So you can kind of imagine if you're going to pay somebody, for example, $5,000 to come fight in South Africa for a fight, excluding his air ticket and all of that stuff, $5,000, 65,000. It's about a year's salary for an average worker here in South Africa.
Crazy.
So yes, that and together with COVID sometimes really hurts. So what I did about 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to establish not a WrestleMania event because that's an entity that is so successful nobody can ever touch it. But I wanted to establish a brand on the African continent, and we did. We called it Wrestle Monster.
Wrestle Monster.
And in our first year, we had 6,000 people. And the last time we had it was actually the year just before COVID, and we had over 37,000 people. Wow. You know, we draw massive crowds, and I'll send you guys some photos that you can put up. And I think I've sent you a couple of stuff already, you know. CPW has got this fortunate thing is wherever it goes, it seems to, you know, other promotions might go there and not draw as what CPW would draw because it's the brand that's so strong. It's really strong, you know what I mean? So we're very excited. We're really excited, guys.
So how'd you guys get started in like the wrestling business exactly?
No, let me tell you, me myself, I was a third generation wrestler. I had uncles and all that wrestled. As a matter of fact, my uncle wrestled his whole career in Canada. He was called Ray Ronaldo, and he wrestled out of Toronto in Canada. He was my mother's brother, and he was my hero. So when I was like a little 6-year-old boy, I was allowed into the changing room because my uncle was second main bout for the evening. And you had some super wrestlers. I mean, Hulk Hogan's been to South Africa in his early days, wrestled then against a South African superstar called Jan Wilkins. Jan Wilkins was massive. You know, so those years in the late 70s, early 80s, there wasn't really TV in South Africa or broadcasting on radio or anything. But when you put the name Jan Wilkins into a show, it was packed, standing room only. And back then we wrestled in a place called the Good Hope Center in Cape Town, South Africa. And that took 8,000 people. That packed it out. Then we used to bring in guys like Gama Singh. Gama Singh was involved with Impact now. Gama Singh. Now, Durban is predominantly an Indian community in South Africa, the city of Durban. And we used to wrestle in a place called the Westridge Tennis Stadium, and it was packed with 12,000 people. I'm talking about in the 70s, in the late 80s, in the early 90s. You know, so it's always had a big wrestling's got a huge following. In South Africa, it's from 8 to 80, and what's nice is it's across the. You know, I'm sure you guys know the history of South Africa, but wrestling, you know, it's like one of the ministers said to me one day. In South Africa, soccer is a very big sport, but it's followed by one section of the community. Then you have rugby followed by another section of the community. And then you have cricket with the top 3. But when it comes to wrestling, everybody loves wrestling. Whether black folk, white folk, colored folk, Indian folk, from 8 to 80, when you look around the ring, you just see everybody. And it's a unifying factor. it's awesome. So anyway, just to answer that question quickly, I used to go downstairs. There was a wrestler, and you can check him out. He used to wrestle as Cowboy Lance Baines, and he was here from the USA. And we had a promoter called Bull Heifer. Bull Heifer was his name. And I was down, and that night, I mean, I'm a 6-year-old boy, and Jan Wilkins is my superhero. I mean, like I mean, it's just crazy. And just before the match, I mean, the hall was packed upstairs, 3,500 people, and very little advertising, just word of mouth, packed it out. And then so this guy that's my superhero picks me up, and I'm in his arms. I'm a 6-year-old guy. I mean, my hero has just picked me up. And the promoter called Lance Baines over and said, guys, it's a full house tonight. You know, we need to give the guys a good show. We need to do, Lance, you know what to do. Jan, you know what to do. This one, you know what to do, and all that. And I looked at this and I said, as a 6-year-old kid, I want to promote professional wrestling in South Africa one day. And there's not many kids that actually at 6 years old decide what they would like to do and actually fulfill that dream. And today, when you look at the majority of the wrestlers in South Africa that are still alive, they come from CPW. We used to be called WWP, World Wrestling Professionals. We rebranded to CPW for certain reasons about 2 years ago. But when the guys, I mean, like right now, in my email, I've probably got about 3,500 emails from people who want to be professional wrestlers, and we can't accommodate all of that, obviously. You know, but it's exciting.
Yeah. Also, do you have anything, Joe, or?
So you want to introduce your special guest to the podcast tonight?
You didn't come alone today.
Well, she's my special guest, but I brought her as a special guest for you guys as well to see. You know, let me tell you about this lady first. Wait, let me bring her in first. You know what I mean? I would be in the ring because also I'm a bit of a heel in the ring. When the crowd's quiet, they send me to the ring because I'm known as the Weasel, Mark Beal. So I would work out, and we had a wrestling. Let me bring her in quickly. She's the former CPW unbeaten world champion for about 6-7 years. You know, an incredible lady. You know, and her name is Akiliah, and she's on the show. I'm excited to have her here.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
How are you guys doing?
What's going on?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Is there music?
There's some. I do have some music. Let's see if I could cue up some music.
It's not copyrighted. There we go. What's the name from WCW? What, Alex, right? It sounds like the music reminded me of when I was watching WCW, and like they couldn't play a song, so you would hear that in the background. It's like the generic. Cool. So like if our fans, Mark's frozen. If our fans are not familiar with you, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. My name is Akiliah. I'm a South African female wrestler. I have been wrestling for more than 15 years now. Absolutely love the sport with all my heart. And
let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this young lady, guys, just so that you understand. I want to tell you how she came into the business. She was just a valet. We were cutting our television series. It's called Thunderstrike, which will be coming back to TV very soon now. And she would always play around in the ring and, you know, that type of thing. And we went for a show down to Durban, South Africa. And one of the girls just never turned up for some other reason. She was lost in the system. And we went to Akiliah, who never had outfits. She never had nothing there that night. Because we were basically in and out the same night, you know. And we said, listen, Akiliah, can you do something? She says, sure, no problem. Well, this young lady totally freaked us out, man. You know what I mean? You know, and I'll tell you a little bit more just now about it. But I mean, she was incredible. And actually, Akiliah became our number one before you put a guy in the show, you put akiliah in the show. You know what I mean? You know, because she put bums on seats, man. You know what I mean? Wherever she wrestled, she put bums on seats. So it's awesome to have to chat with to have you on board with us here, akiliah. You know, we're very excited. I'm privileged. I've known her for many, many years. You know what I mean? Lived in their house for many years when I've gone up to Johannesburg. So it's exciting. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Yes. So, how did you get your start in the business, akiliah?
Like Mark just said, I accidentally had to wrestle because a lady didn't pitch up due to unforeseen circumstances. But I always watched the men in the ring, and I always used to take a bump here and there, and absolutely fell in love with the sport and got my opportunity to wrestle, and I loved it from day one.
Mm-hmm. So who are some of your dream opponents you would love to wrestle?
Oh, I'm in love with Tori, obviously. Who isn't? I used to wrestle Pippa Levine and Scorn and Black Magic from South Africa. And I think locally, I would prefer wrestling our ladies first, just because I think we're a little bit more hardcore than the ladies from America.
Oh, burn right there.
We have some hardcore ladies here in America that I think that you would be really good matchup for, that we've had on our podcast, that are like, we have Lone Wolf, which is from Australia. No, she's from Scotland, but she's Irish. But oh my gosh, akiliah, she just did a match. You're gonna have to watch the clip on the Instagram.
What's her finishing move?
I can't remember what her finishing move was offhand, but she does a lot of hardcore moves. She dropped the girl on 2 chairs face down, like John Cena style. On the chairs, we're all sitting like this. And
like back to back.
Yeah, she's back first.
Oh, okay.
2 chairs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm into hardcore matches.
They would like you in America then. They really a lot of
hardcore matches.
Yeah, Britt Baker too is another one.
Yeah, Britt Baker.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you know Chantalay was akiliah was our champion for how long was it? akiliah 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
I mean,
undefeated.
there was just no person. I let you into a secret. You go on YouTube and go put their akiliah bra and panty matches. She's done it all. You know what I mean? She's done everything, and she's just always walked out victorious in the match. So much so that how many years? About four years ago, that she eventually said, "There's no challenge in South Africa any longer for us." You know what I mean? She was going to be taking a break, and obviously COVID extended that break. You know what I mean? But honestly, I mean, if I can say it, you know, guys. I mean, like, there's sex appeal. And there's somebody that can wrestle like you cannot believe it. You know what I mean? She'll wrestle against any guy. I mean, Chantalay, how tall are you? 6 foot?
I'm 1.85 meters. So it's
Wow.
6'1".
Yeah. So I mean, she'll take on many cross-gender matches. You know what I mean? And she's just awesome. As I say, you guys go onto YouTube, put in akiliah South African wrestling, and you'll probably come up with quite a few of her matches. You know?
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Now, so what are some places you guys would love to travel to that you've not traveled to yet?
Obviously, the US.
US, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, you know, one place where akiliah has never traveled to is that we actually had let me let you get the cat out the bag. We had a weekly television show in India, out of Mumbai.
Yeah,
you know, my philosophy is building local superstars, building local guys. I went off to India with a team, and we brought akiliah was involved in the actual tapings. But I mean, you know, we brought out about 15 guys to South Africa for intensive training, and we went and you can note this, and you can look at this also on YouTube, that we had a program called 100% Dedenaden, DEDHANADHAN. And we ran for 26 weeks on Mumbai television live every Saturday night and every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, which was huge for South African wrestling. And hence today we've got a tremendous platform in India. Just before COVID, we've got a brand called War of Pride. that we went out over there. I mean, drawing 27,000 people to a show, 1.6 billion. That's not a lot of people, but that's a huge amount of people. I mean, I know of other very big promotions that only drew 9,000 that went out there with very big names. You know what I mean? And we did have Lashley, we had Carlito, we had Jack Swagger, I think it was, and we had Lloyd Anui, and we had Brody Steele, and it was huge. We're busy right now. In the next week or two, I'll have another 3 dates for us for Pune, Chandigarh, and Chennai, where we will be going over later this year. So we're excited about that, man. You know what I mean? And we take people like akiliah, people who have never traveled overseas for wrestling. You know, we take akiliah. You went off to the DRC, didn't you? Weren't you in the DRC for that big show?
I did, but I remember I hurt my ankle and I had to have an operation on it. So I just traveled with, but I couldn't actually wrestle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, so effectively, wrestling's alive and well in South Africa. You know, let's package the last 2 years for COVID and just chuck it as far as the east is from the west. You know what I mean? I mean, like this weekend, the Arnold Schwarzenegger's Expo was on. Yeah. And we were on from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We wrestled our backsides off for all 3 days. You know, we had tryouts, we had new people coming along, we had everything. It was hugely successful, you know. So yeah, no, it's alive. It's awesome. It's awesome to work with people like akiliah around you, you know, who's got the experience. Is she coming back to the ring? Me and her must still discuss. Is she coming back in a managerial role? Is she going to wrestle? She won't even tell you that right now. You know what I mean? But I know. I'm coming overseas very soon, so I'm going to have some meetings with the NWA. So I was thinking she could be a good opponent for Taryn Terrell or something like that.
Oh yeah, we would love to see you come to America.
Camille.
She'd be like, and also you could always, if you're near, I know that's NWA is in the South. I feel silly right now because near Tennessee, and you could always take a trip to New York because they have a lot of small indie promotions.
I want to see you.
And go and see a show. Like the one show that you need to go check out online is Victory Pro Wrestling.
Victory Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, Victory Pro Wrestling. They have a lot of good wrestlers on there, and they let you run with your gimmick. And they have a YouTube channel. You can watch full shows and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's one by me called PPW that's available on Fight TV also.
PPW.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, guys. You know what I mean? No, you know, we're planning. I was just saying to the guys today, we're going back to we're resuming our national television show on national government. That's going to be going to 17 countries. So we're quite excited about that. Later this year, we have tours to Uganda. We got tours to India, and then we're busy working on our Wrestle Monster event, which, as I say, is the WrestleMania on the African continent. You know. So, we're very excited. Wrestling is healthy in South Africa. Make no mistake, wrestling is healthy in South Africa.
And you guys basically created Justin Gabriel, so.
Well, no, let me be honest with you. Justin Gabriel's father was a guy called the Pink Panther, Paul Lloyd.
Wow.
And I worked Paul Lloyd many times in my wrestling career. And, I mean, with PJ growing up in a wrestling house, you know, I remember us going to stay in hotels, and PJ would be wrestling as a little 7-year-old kid. He'd be wrestling with all the big wrestlers on the beds and doing all the moves and all that stuff. He was brought up he had an awesome father. I mean, PJ Black had an absolute incredible father. So you know, I don't want to take all the credit. Because his father taught him well. If his father was still alive today, I don't even want to think where wrestling would have been on another level, even, you know. His father died very tragically, and that's another story for another day. But PJ went off after his father had passed on. I know he went off to England and wrestled there for a couple of years and started really developing. Came back to South Africa, wrestled in Thunderstrike for a long time, and then one day rocked up at my house down here in the Eastern Cape in South Africa. And said he's got a tryout at what's that old training center that they used to have before NXT? I can't remember. Now he went there, and And he got a contract. Yeah, you know, he got a contract, and shortly after that, our world champion was Adam Rose.
Oh wow,
Adam
Rose.
Yeah, he was known as Damien.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
I love Damien.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, let me tell you something. One of the most underrated workers that I can't believe that WWE just never used him. You can ask Akiliah. He was incredible. He was incredible on the mic. He was incredible in the ring. I mean, he was one of a standout. And then he went overseas and, you know, he got onto the Adam Rose gimmick, which we thought he first got onto the Leo Kruger or something like that gimmick, which was good. But then he got onto the Adam Rose. I thought Adam Rose was quite a good character. I don't know what happened over there. And all of a sudden he was out. And today he wants nothing to do with professional wrestling. You know, unfortunately.
Really?
You know, that's what I'm told, you know. He's completely retired. But Angelico is still wrestling for AEW.
Yeah.
Angelico is still doing very well. Akiliah, I don't know if you remember that time down at the Splash Festival in Nelson Mandela Bay. Akiliah, that was the last time he was here. Angelica, because you were on that bill, you wrestled against Black Magic. Remember, she was dressed in white and you were dressed in pink.
Yeah, I'd love to see him again.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say you guys are producing some stars over there, over in South Africa in CPW. Yeah.
You know, South Africa is an underrated place at the moment. You know, because you don't have any of these bigger stars that have got promotions that have actually got a base over here. You know, WWE doesn't have a base down here, and none of the other guys do. But they're watching the talent. You know, they're watching. You know, they're watching the talent, and we'll never stand in the way. I personally believe that Akiliah has still got a good 10 years in front of her. And she needs to. She would get to the USA, and I would back her all the way and open up doors for her from my side. You know what I mean? She just needs to decide over the next couple of months where she wants to go, or does she just want to stay as a manager, and that's fine. Then she's accommodated. You know, she'll always have a place at CPW. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, we have produced some. We got some other girls that we're busy training at the moment, and some good girls, but. Between us, because I know there was nobody on Akilah's level. You know, absolutely nobody on Akilah's level.
She would fit in the promotion. I don't know if she are you familiar with WOW, the female wrestling promotion?
Yeah, yes, I am.
She'd fit in perfect. Her outfit, her gimmick, her characters. There's a stable of two women called Pretty Team Blonde. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. And I think she'd fit in with that stable because in the pink and the whole outfit she wears, I think she'd fit in with them. Yeah.
Well, I'm going up to Johannesburg in the next 3 weeks, and I'm going to meet with her, and then we're going to sit down, have a cup of coffee, and just, you know, we don't want to discuss that too much now because that's private and confidential. You know what I mean? But yes, I would like her back. I would like her back from my side. She's good for the business, and she's got still a good 10 years in front of her to really you know, make a very, very, very big name internationally. I think Akilah's outgrown South Africa, with all due respect. Standard, there's just got no competition. If Akiliah wanted to stay in South Africa, I brought in Jazzy. You know Jazzy from Germany.
Yes. Yeah, Jazzy Gilbert.
Yeah, I brought in Jazzy. I mean, I would bring in Jazzy. Jazzy and Chantalay would have very good matches. I had what's that Portuguese lady, Shayna? Yeah, I've had Shayna out over here for some matches as well. So and it went very well. But that's who we would take and put Akiliah against. You know what I mean? Because she's done the locals. She's proven herself, and there's nobody her equal.
There's some female wrestlers we've had on our podcast from Germany that I think would be really good against Akiliah. La Katrina. I don't know if you ever heard of La Katrina.
Yes, I've heard of her.
She'd be a good
Miss Kath.
What's that?
Yeah,
Miss Kath.
Yeah, Miss Cat. Oh my God, yes, Miss Cat from Mexico. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know who I'm thinking of bringing out very soon is Madison Miles.
Ooh,
Madison Miles, Joe.
Yeah, me and Madison and her boyfriend speak quite often. Charlie Spooner. So we're looking at doing something very, very soon on a very large scale. You know, but as I say, we got a good few wrestlers in South Africa that I would, when I take them to India, they wrestle international. They're internationals themselves, but I mean we're saying we bring in some USA guys for them, and in South Africa as well, we bring in the USA guys for them, and it's time. That's what you call. That's how you build local stars. That's how you build somebody. You know, put him against a USA-based wrestler. It costs me a hell of a lot of money to do that.
Exactly.
But I know who's committed to me, and I know who's solid, and I know who builds the brand, and I know who goes wants to go places, and I'm quite happy to do that from that point of view. I'm very excited. All we can say is wrestling is healthy in South Africa. We just had stumbling block with COVID, which we went from nearly 40 shows a year down to 2-3 shows in the last 2 years.
Really?
And you wouldn't believe this week was the start of our comeback, because they've now relaxed a lot of the COVID stuff. You know, I mean, in South Africa they've really relaxed it. So this week was the start of some really good things of getting back. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
what would you guys say some of your favorite foods are?
Jonathan, let me tell you something. You know, have you guys ever eaten prawns before?
Prawns?
You know what a prawn is?
No.
Okay. No.
It's very small crayfish.
It's basically crayfish, but a small crayfish.
Mm.
I've never eaten crayfish before, or prawns. And I went to her house one night, and she taught me how to eat. Listen, this woman can cook, eh? You know, listen, let me tell you something. She's actually an Afrikaans lady. She talks English very well. And in South Africa, if you get involved with the Afrikaans lady, you're guaranteed to have a cooked meal every single night. You know what I mean? And it's like it's like this. You know what I mean? But anyway, what is your favorite dish, Akila?
Where do I have many favorite dishes. I like to have a braai, which is a barbecue. Open fire. With a little lamb chop and a salad. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love
you guys need to come to South Africa, man, when we do a big show, and come do 1 or 2 of your podcasts from here.
Dude. We'd love to come.
Oh gosh, we have to can we borrow your studio? Because if we're gonna be sitting in someone's corner, we're doing a podcast in the corner.
You get to bring a laptop.
I've got a pretty big bar that you guys can use.
And it's stacked as well.
Guys, why are you standing in the corner? We're used to being in the corner doing our show. Not in somebody's humongous studio. We're why are you staring into the computer like that? Get in the studio.
Can you see my nose hairs?
We'll
have to come to one of the shows. What's it called? Wrestle Monster.
Wrestle Monster will be over Easter 2023 next year. It's a 2-day event where we do the first day we do developmental guys, where we put we let the run with the developmental and the new talent. And on the following day we come with a massive extravaganza. You know, it's like freaking huge, you know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like really huge. I'm amazed I'm amazed how popular the brand has come, because I mean I get calls all the time, you know what I mean, from good international wrestlers. We had Brodus Clay over here.
Wow.
At Wrestle Monster over here as well, you know. I mean, he was just a freaking awesome guy. You know what I mean? He was just down to earth and just will do whatever you want him to do. No problem. You know, as a matter of fact, all the guys that we've had here, we can't really complain. So, Akila had a problem one day. She wrestled a lady. I don't know if we can mention the lady's name. And it was a total accident. She knocked her teeth out.
Yes.
I told them about it already.
She told us the story.
Naveen.
Yeah. We even learned at that stage that you can just put a tooth back if it falls out. I didn't realize that, you know what I mean?
Well, it was already a fake tooth.
Okay.
It was like a tap that came out.
Yeah.
So this one's for Akila. Who would you say which opponent would you say hits the absolute hardest? Has the hardest chops or
Definitely Scorn.
Yes. I gotta finish watching that match because I started watching it and then I had to go to the farmer's market. So I had to leave. I was like,
she has just got no mercy. She's Yeah, she goes all in every single time.
Mm.
The unfortunate part about it, she's living in Dubai now. She's a school teacher. Did you know that, Akila?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a school teacher in Dubai.
My goodness, I never knew that.
That'll be another one you could try to contact for us because we would love to get. We would love to have like more of the wrestlers from your promotion. I know it'd have to be like at like a 2:30 p.m. our time kind of situation.
That's fine.
Yeah,
No problem.
Put us in your group chat because I know wrestling groups have group chats. Like on a phone, like
a lot of wrestling promotions have group chats. We noticed that it's like, oh yeah, it's in our group chat already. I'm like, really?
What? You could be doing this, guys. Being doing this for like a year
and a half.
And do you think like when I tell people like, oh, we'll check out one of your episodes, and then 5 seconds later we get the bubble, man, you guys have a lot of episodes, and I'm like, a lot to catch up on, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch a few of them now after we're done here.
Yeah,
we have a lot of fun interviews, and there's a lot of female wrestlers and male, because you wrestle both men and women, and Dudes at Ringside podcast is so positive too.
Maybe you should do like a poll to see like who wants to challenge Akila.
Well, if you want to do right now, and if you want to call it any of the American male wrestlers, stage is yours, Akila.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, go for it, Akila. Call him out. Call any male wrestler out. Go for it.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I want to wrestle you inside and outside the ring.
Hey, you never know. He'll be like, all right.
Yeah. No, guys. So yeah. No, the talent is good. The standard is good. You know, we know how to get. You know, you get small crowds of 300, 400 people. That's what we consider a very small crowd. And then you can ask Akila. She's wrestling in front of massive crowds already. Massive crowds. You know. But I must also say it's because of her. That's why the crowds have been massive. You know, she's been our Hulk Hogan down here. You know, when you start your advertising, you started with a photo of Akila. You know, and people go like, "Yeah, the front row seats outside."
Who's that bitch in the pink? All the old ladies always hate me. They throw me with stuff.
I see them booing you. They're like.
If you came to America, I think you get the ultimate heat right there.
Oh, you would be. You have your accent. You'd be like,
do you think I'll be a heel or a baby face in America?
Well, Mark kind of said you'd be both. He's like, it depends on the show.
I would just swear everybody in Afrikaans and they wouldn't know what I was saying. They'd have to have like Google Translate next to the ring.
You have to have it on a speaker the whole show. Be like, I said, and then it's like, yeah, she said.
I said, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what he said to me, like on the voice thing on Instagram. He's like, it depends on the show, what Akila would be, either a face or a heel. I would have you. I'm because my grandfather, God rest his soul, he was a heel, so I'm kind of not a fan of heels. But like certain wrestlers, I feel a vibe. So if I was a promoter and you came to America with Mark and you were collabing with my promotion, I'd have Akila as a heel and have her.
I'm just famous for like going to French kiss a woman's husband right next to her. That's what I'll do.
She did. And that just set the tone. That just sets the tone.
Hot guy.
Oh gosh. Yeah, my luck. We'll be doing the show and I'll call Dudes at Ringside, come in the ring, and then I'll go to hug you, and then I turn around and Geek's like, Joe, no, low blow. And I'm like,
yeah, I like to have a low blow, do a low blow.
I think I'm gonna get hugged, and she's like, ha ha. And you're like, I told you, Joe.
I think Akila would be the ultimate heel in America. If she ever came to America.
I think she would be. I was chatting to her earlier on tonight, and I was saying to her that, as I said, what I said to you guys, I want to get her over to NWA for starters, you know. But we need to chat and discuss so that my investment. I know that she's definitely keen, you know. That she has to make up her mind. What does she want to do? We should be starting some television tapings in August for a national channel that's going to 17 countries. So you know, it's her call. But if she wants to be on the managerial side, her place is secured. If she wants to be in the ring, her place is secured. But for now, I wouldn't put her against any South Africans. So she would wrestle exclusively. I would bring in every Tom, Dick, and Harry to fight against her. You know what I mean? You know, I would just, that's what I would do. You know, I have certain wrestlers in South Africa where what we do is that we let them fight international wrestlers on the big shows. And that you know that's what's just important. That's what building a local brand, you know.
Yeah.
And the same for India. I would take off to India. The last time I had 2 ladies in India, I mean, like, it was crazy. I mean, the ladies got a bigger pop than what Bobby Lashley got in India.
We had 2,000 people just following our vehicle driving to the arena, remember?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, they were like walking behind our vehicles.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. For the record, I mean, I absolutely love India. I'm actually doing a podcast tomorrow with a guy tomorrow because I'm a person. I love to take young people off the street and find potential and train them and give them hope. You know, and say that you just give them hope and say, listen, you know, I don't know how long it'll take you to get there, but I believe in you, and this is where you're going to be. And that's my that's my philosophy. You know what I mean? To believe in somebody. I can't go and take a 32-kilogram person that's 25 years old. But I mean, if I see somebody has got potential, I would approach him on the street. What I do at the moment is I don't look for wrestlers. I develop characters, and then I look for people to fit the character, which is very important. You know.
I think I want to change my name to the Big Monster, the Pink Monster.
Pink Monster,
Right.
the Pink Monster.
This question's for Mark, actually. If you could have any 2 people from the United States on Wrestle Monster, who would it be?
You know, I've had such a lot of the guys on Wrestle Monster from overseas, but you know, when I did a presentation the other day, I don't know if he's all okay, but I was asked for the Boogeyman.
Ooh,
yeah.
People asked me for the Boogeyman, but let me tell you, who's very big in South Africa is Carlito, eh?
Oh,
You want to put bums on seats? Carly is huge, eh?
Carlito's big everywhere.
But one of the nice parts about working with Carlito is he's got incredible. You know, I always say this: I can teach most people to wrestle. Let me be really honest with you. I can take anybody and give you the basic moves, but I can't give you a good attitude. You either got it or you don't have it. And in the sport of professional wrestling, you got to have a good attitude, man. You know what I mean? And Carly is just unbelievable. He's just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, working with Bobby Lashley was just a dream for me. Not because it was Bobby Lashley, but just because of the attitude. You know, he was always keen to help, to do anything, to do whatever he has to do. That what was awesome for me, you know, and I enjoy working with that. So yes, currently, if I had to right now, I wouldn't mind Chris Masters. I haven't had him in South Africa yet. Whatever his new name, his proper name is. But anyway, I wouldn't mind Chris Masters. I wouldn't look. I'm very much committed to Lloyd Anui, the Great Alofa. So currently, him and his brother have got my tag team titles. They are champions. So, but they awesome. Those 2 Samoans are just big names in South Africa. You bring the Samoans in, and I mean they fill halls. They fill not stadiums, but they fill very big venues. You know. So I would have those Usos in, and I would also have who's very important for me is because you see sometimes in South Africa, if you want to draw, you can put unknown names down, but you've got to have at least 2 or 3 known names.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, I mean, WWE is a conglomerate, you know what I mean? It's created mega superstars, let's be honest, you know. So one always looks at whoever's been kicked out, and you kind of, I would love to bring, you know, one of the people I'd love to bring for Akiliah would be Mickey James.
That'd
be
a good match.
Yeah, I think her and Akiliah would put up an unbelievable match. And I heard
it'll be a 3-minute match.
Oh, geez.
It'll be a 3-minute match.
Yeah, I'm on your side, Keela. Yeah.
Shots fired right there.
Shots fired. Mic drop. Mic drop.
So you know, down the road, her and her husband Nick Aldis. You know, they don't realize it yet, but I mean, we've got them on paper to approach later this year. You know,
wow.
from that point of view, to bring Nick Aldis and Mickey James over.
Mm.
So I'm trying to entice guys. Can you understand this? I'm trying to entice Akiliah to get back into the ring as fast as possible. So I want to
come back too.
The man's trying to tell you something.
I want
trying to
to
give him the
bring
messages.
quality people out. I want to bring stunning people out. You know what I mean? That you can say, I've got to get back into the ring, not as a manager, but we'll talk in 2 weeks.
You want to
Yeah,
see?
let's just take it day by day, step by step, bump by bump, eh?
Yeah, Akiliah, as I'm saying this now, this is from the indie wrestling fan in America. I got to finish watching the match, that second match, but
yeah,
girl, you got something. Yeah. There's something there. I'm an American wrestling geek watching the match too.
Yeah.
There's something there that needs to be brought to NWA. We want to see you on NWA TV, girl. We want to see you. Me and Geek want to tear up saying, "Oh my God, she made it. she was here with us first." NWA TV. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just think that she would do very well for a program. You know what I mean? A couple of matches. I think it'll work very well. My personal opinion is Akiliah will get into a ring anywhere. And the problem is they won't work a program with her for 3 or 4, 5, 6 programs. They will sign her to a contract. I'm not saying it because it's her. I mean, she's got a tremendous personality, wonderful person to work with, ring ethic, work ethic, out of this world. You know what I mean? And the nice part about it is, me as a promoter, it's not easy to promote. Let me be really honest with you. You guys know that. It's really tough. But to have somebody like that, so going like, whatever you want, she's happy. You tell me, do this, do that, do this, do this. She doesn't argue. She just does what's good for the business. That's what's important. You know,
it's all about the business, eh? For the love of the game.
Yeah, if as you said before you're live, Akiliah, if it's in your blood, you just don't know how to go away.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good attitude right there.
Your first bump, it's over. First bump, it's over. Get over, eh?
Yeah, you just it's there. Geek, got anything else?
Wrestling is like your drug of choice. Yeah, let's be honest. Today you're going to retire, and then all of a sudden that we call it a chocho, that little thing bites you again, and you want to get back into the ring, even if you go just for, it's all over. We all suffer from that. You know what I mean? Mickey Rourke, the wrestler thing. You know what I mean? That's actually so real. It's unbelievable what he had gone through. But what's very exciting in South Africa at the moment is we've really got good talent down here. Eh? We know we've got Mr. Wrestling, who's our CPW world champion. We've got Nanzi, who's our Commonwealth champion. We've got our African champion, Loudmouth. And we've got a host of youngsters coming through. Alicio, Matthew Hammer. We got Super X. I mean, we've got a lot of talent coming through that is high quality, that I would be able to put on into against any international from the USA, from wherever. And know that it's going to be just an outstanding match, Definitely. From that point.
Yeah. Definitely. So, you go, Gee.
No, go ahead, Joe.
This is my I guess this would be my last question. So, what do you see? Where do you see your promotion in 5 to 10 years? Internationally, what do you see him?
Look, let me put it this way rather. I'm confident of my product. I'm confident of the promotion. I mean, Akiliah would tell you, you know what I mean? You know what we were like. She really never wrestled for anybody else in her whole career. It's always been for us, Yes, you have your ups and your downs and all that. My head streams to the east. Bangladesh, Singapore,
Abu Dhabi,
Pakistan, and India, Dubai. And I'm busy with Dubai for something in Dubai as well. But I mean, Dubai, Qatar. That's where my heart is. You know what I mean. I received an award from the Minister of Sport in India. For wrestling. So I was quite excited as far as that was concerned. So I see myself going very big on that side, but I see myself maybe affiliating with an AEW or an NWA. I think my heart would go out to an NWA for some other reason. You know what I mean? I'm a nostalgic person. NWA has really got a good history, and from that point of view, I see myself eventually linking up and possibly being a feeder or possibly doing, somewhere from that point of view. But in the interim, we're not interested, until it comes or when potential offer comes, we're just carrying on doing our thing and doing it very good, doing it good, putting bums on seats, creating superheroes in South Africa like akiliah, Anansi, Loudmouth, Mr. Wrestling. Incidentally, we got a social responsibility program at CPW, and it's anti-bully and anti-drug. It's a very big problem all over the world, let's be honest.
Yes.
Many a times you have ministers of religion go to schools and the kids aren't interested. You go political ministers and the kids are not interested. But now you take their superhero there. I'm going to actually send you a little clip of some schools that we go to, or that we've been to. And you can't believe the impact that the wrestlers make on those kids' lives. Wow. We can't keep up. We can't keep up with the with everything in terms of the visitations right now. But it's an incredibly successful, and that's giving back to the community. You know what I mean? Identifying bullies and really spending time with bullies from that point, and helping to change a bully's life. And we got a philosophy in life of how do you change a bully? You know what I mean? How do you change bullies? Well, one bully at a time. One person's life at a time. You guys have got it over there. We just heard about that terrible shooting tragedy that took place at one of the schools somewhere. That's awful. That, you know what I mean? But there's got to be something to do something like that, and we just trying to go school to school, and we will never reach all schools, but we can go in there and make one difference to one person's life from CPW Wrestling and all their superstars. If akiliah walks into because we like to keep them in their wrestling outfit, she's got their attention. She's got their attention. You know what I mean? Whatever she says, they're going to listen. Believe me, they're going to listen. You know what I mean? Let me tell you this. One day we had Mr. Wrestling that was at a school not too far away from where I stay. And one of the kids got up and walked towards him in the front, and he still thought, maybe the kid wants to come and speak. And as the kid came to him, the kid actually spat in his face.
What?
Spat in his face. Well, you got to try and understand, a minister of religion would pray for the guy. The politician, his bodyguards would get him. Mr. Wrestling took this guy outside and hung him up against the wall.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? That kid had so much respect for Mr. Wrestling afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we know that you can't do certain things at schools, unfortunately, and all that. But, send in the big stars. Send in, and that's what we're doing. We're sending in the stars to the schools and helping to change one bully at a time.
That's
so,
good.
guys, effectively, yes, wrestling is very popular in South Africa. We've also got our politics in certain areas of wrestling. We've got, like everybody else, has got hassles and all that. But what makes my job easier is having somebody like akiliah that's on my side. Pick up the phone and say to her, "I need help. Yeah, I need help there. I need help there." And nothing is today. I couldn't make it up to the Arnolds, unfortunately. I live in Nelson Mandela Bay, which is on the east coast, and Johannesburg is about where she is. It's about 1,200 kilometers up north. I couldn't make it, but it was very nice for me to be able to know, the guys ran the Arnolds first class today, and so we got a good team of people. We got just it's just an awesome team of people. You know what I mean? From that point of view. And my philosophy, and I'm sorry guys for you to hear it, for you to get this, but I say, all wrestlers, whether you chat to a wrestler in Brazil, and I do, will you chat to a wrestler in Argentina or Chile, and even the youngsters that come through, they say, "Can I use your company to have a stepping stone to WWE?" And I say, "No, go to WWE for a stepping stone." I'm saying you can create that same environment right here where you stay. You just got to have the right attitude, surround yourself with the right people, and you can become superstars. As time progresses, if a door has to open up and you can go for tryouts, I will back you 100%. Like akiliah, I would back her 100% to get to wherever she has to go for tryouts. I'll never stand away, but I'm going like, let me conquer my own suburb. Let me conquer my own city. Let me conquer my own country. Let me become a legend in my country. because you can't just walk into those big mainstream promotions. You got to go in there with a name. They're not looking for somebody to train. They're looking for somebody to wrestle and make money for them. Let's be honest,
Definitely.
But CPW is here. CPW is on the African continent. We're on Facebook, social media. We're on Twitter. The web page is currently under construction. Should be up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we're ready to rumble, brother. We're ready to work in association with everybody, and we're excited. The future is bright.
Yeah.
Geek, you have any last question, Geek?
Yeah, and me and Joe hope to be at a Wrestle Monster one day.
Oh my gosh, we'd love to be there for that.
I think it could be quite interesting. We could get you guys down as to do the commentating on the live streaming and the live television. That could be actually quite interesting.
Well, yeah, we have to meet you guys in person now.
We also like to do watch parties. Like if you ever, we did one for a promotion in England called Outcast, which you guys should both check them out. They only have one female wrestler named Luna Trix, and she's their women's champion. And
does she wrestle against the men?
Yes, she does. She does. You have to look at her, Akila. You would be really impressed with her. She takes a good bump. She takes a good bump, and she takes
off the top rope.
Yeah, she goes off the top rope. Yeah, she takes bumps. All kinds of different.
And she takes dragon suplexes, everything.
That's one of my favorite moves. The belly to belly off the top rope.
Sorry, just to end it from our side, who Akila would have brilliant matches with, and I had her in South Africa as well, is Savannah Summers from Australia.
We've had Savannah on the podcast. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be a good match. Oh,
I mean, like she would just, people wouldn't know who to look at. You know what I mean? To be honest, it's like people will go like, wow, they'll just applaud every move of every one of the two ladies.
Battle of the Bombshells. There you go. That'd be a good title for the match. The Battle of the Bombshells.
Battle of the Bombshells.
Yes,
it's a fact, eh?
That's a future Wrestle Monster match.
That's how Akila turns heel on me. Have me in the center of the ring, like how when you try to name a puppy, have Savannah on one side of the ring and Akila on the other side of the ring. Joe, come to me. No, Joe, you come to me. I'm like, I just fall out on the ground, my knees, and just run out of the ring.
You see, Akila's only problem is a lot of the girls are short. Savannah's quite a short lady. She's not a very tall lady. I mean, Akila's a very tall lady. You know what I mean? Akila would have a very good match against Savannah, but against Jazzy.
Oh, okay.
If Jazzy's fit and healthy, she would do, because she's about Jazzy's height. You know what I mean? I think her and Jazzy would have, wow. I think there would be starlights and fires and.
Now, Lapa said that I also have to consider Xena. Who's Xena?
Oh, Xena.
There's another female wrestler that's in America that you would be really good against. Her name is Becca, but she originally was called Basic Becca, but then now she's a heel and she's just called Becca. But instead of the E, they put a 3 on her name.
So backwards E.
Yeah, backwards like a 3, but they put instead of the E, it's it looks like the E backwards, but it's a 3.
Cool.
Okay,
I'll send you the link later on for her Instagram page. She's a heel and she's wrestled as far as Spain, England, places like that. I don't think she went to South Africa yet.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys.
Yeah, so we there's a lot of guys that are sort of on our list, but as I say, the rand dollar exchange is tough. 1 to 15 and a half, 16. You can imagine that as I said earlier on, But when it comes to the big shows, Akila's guaranteed international. It's not even negotiable,
Yeah. Yep.
We want to thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. By the way,
awesome.
Our privilege.
Awesome.
Thank you. So, and you ended Geekins.
You could do.
I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm the Metal Geek.
I'm Akila.
And I'm Mark Beal.
And we will catch you guys in the next one.